Hello, dear master students. I'd like to continue my lecture number 4 about key elements and the indicators of critical thinking, and according by my author's course of methods and tools of critical thinking in art, which is prepared in the Temirbek Jurgenov Kazakh National Academy of Arts. Let's present. This is my presentation about key elements and indicators of critical thinking, number 4 lecture. And the purpose of this lecture to reveal the main structural components and indicators of the process of formation of critical thinking. Keywords here. Argumentation, verifiability and falsifiability, validity, and persuasion. I would like to start to introduce the content of this lecture. This is a knowledge and opinion. Knowledge, it could be according to your specialty, your research title regarding art studies, maybe film, cinema, theater, stage design, or playwriting, dramaturgy, etc. And your opinion, how you introduce your opinion, how you organize and structure your opinion and using knowledge of artistic creativity, and differences between opinion, reason, judgment, and fact, how it works, differences between opinion, reason, judgment, and fact. While you preparing or writing an essay or submitting your research article, for example, it is or starting to using some information from database, from different resources. Okay, the different between disabilities and actions, and also it's nice to share about metacognition as a knowledge about knowledge. Метапознание как знание о знании. About knowledge and opinion. According by the book Diana Halpin, which we mentioned before our lecture number 3, differences between opinion, reason, judgment, and fact. Compare the following three statements. For example, Diana Halpin gives an example, 3 different meanings of these sentences. For example, information. First is, computer is the best personal computer you can buy. I like him. And second one, computer is the best personal computer you can buy for under 2,000. It's easier to use than the other top 5 computers brands, and it works with the software I use. And last one, computer is sold with a high capacity hard drive and built-in laser printer, and is fully computable with the software written by IBM, Apple, and Apple Macintosh. In the first example, expressed an opinion. This is a simple statement of my preference. I like it. I think this is the best. No reason are given to justify this assessment. Opinions here reflects how an industry, individual, or group evaluates a point of view or a product. In the second example, a preference is also expressed, but here this preference is supported by arguments. I prefer X because it is Y. This is an example of an informed judgment. And how about according the third? The third statement contains factual statement. Facts have truth values that can be verified. Now, about argumentation as a series of interconnected judgment, аргументация как ряд связанных между собой суждений, general features of the argumentation theory. Общие особенности теории аргументации, контраргументация, counter-argumentation, and graphic representation of the argumentation structure. Графическое изображение структуры аргументации. You have to think about graphic representation of the argumentation structure. How do you make argumentation? How its structure looks like? What would be nice for doing argumentation, following some logical structure, maybe. And argumentation structure is written and oral speech. Структура аргументации, письменная и устная речь. What is the difference? It might be structure argumentation in written and oral speech, while written and speaking argumentation structure could be difference. Conclusion as the goal of argumentation. Цель, заключение как цель аргументации. Conclusion as the goal of argumentation. You have to be careful about conclusion as the goal of argumentation. Yeah, verifiability and falsifiability. Also, we should think about verifiability and falsifiability. What kind of information do you use in your scientific article, research article for some journal? Yeah, and how you consider and verify some information and to check for the falsifiability, for example, yeah, and validity, validness. The difference between truth and validity. When you say some truthfulness of history, for example, you're discussing about the modern movies, for example, and you should define the difference between truth and validity. When it truthfulness and validity and information, might be it's science fiction or truthfulness, the category of metamodernism of which used in the movie idea. Okay, pie charts to test the validity of reasoning, круговые диаграммы для проверки валидности рассуждения, which these stages, conclusion, verifiability, validity, the difference between truthfulness and validity, pie charts, yeah. You can also find conclusion indicators in the book of Diana Halpern, The Psychology of Critical Thinking. And also, it's important to find persuasion and propaganda, and some things which include persuasion, persuasion and propaganda we considered before our lectures. The art of persuasion from ancient Greece, especially Protagoras' sophistry. How they can persuade people and do some propaganda, for example. How to change beliefs. We have the first task according how creative person can change their beliefs, for example, and you have prepared many beautiful, brilliant essays, which we thoroughly thoroughly evaluated, and critical reflection against false conclusions and argumentation, the influence of the associations, false dichotomy, arguments against the individual, emphasis on pity, etc. Критическое осмысление против ложных выводов и аргументаций, влияние ассоциаций, how the influence of associations, false dichotomy, arguments against the individual, emphasis on the pity, когда ассоциация, влияние ассоциации ложной дихотомии, доводы против личности, упор на жалость, когда давит, which we considered before, these stages or politic strategies and the tools of objectivity, critical thinking, according to some history of objectivity, okay? Explanation and prediction and control inductive and deductive methods. It's nice, inductive and deductive methods. We can, we had already considered. Also, you can just check it out in according this book, Diana Halpin's the psychology of critical thinking, correction and causality, коррекция и причинная связь. What can be correction and causality between following some idea, or what causes some ideas or environment or some political things in the history or in art, how they influence and how they interact sometimes. Decision making and the critical thinking, decision making structure, descriptive and prescriptive processes, and typical decision making difficulties, inability to see an obvious contradiction over confidence, visibility heuristic, representativeness heuristic, wishful thinking tendency, psychology reactivity, partiality, emotional states, etc. These things like typical decision-making difficulties and типовые трудности принятия решений и способность увидеть очевидные противоречия. Sometimes you cannot see an obvious contradictions or overconfidence here. Also, visibility heuristic, эвристика наглядности, когда эвристика, я это открыл, this is a heuristic, visibility, and there is representativeness heuristic, and эвристика репрезентативности, тенденция принимать желаемое за действительное. Wishful thinking tendency is bad when the people use some things in their creative work or research work, which could be bad results at the end. Okay, psychological reactivity, partially emotional states, психологическая реактивность, пристрастность, эмоциональное состояние. This is emotional status and psychological reactivities, partiality. You have to check and analyze in some modern movies, science fictions, according by metamodernist concepts since 2000 to for nowadays. Okay, to find how these stages are working on film industry and how it look like according to metamodern concepts of strategy, politics, And okay, evaluation of desirable and undesirable consequences of this decision making. Оценка желательных и нежелательных последствий принятия решений. Evaluation of desirable and undesirable consequences of decision making. You understand, I think. You can also check how Diana Halpern uses in her book. Sorry, I switched off my presentation, okay? And now, общие принципы оценки, general principles of risk assessment. It's nice, general principles of risk assessment. You have to use some rules of general principles of risk assessment while you're doing your research work, or make some decision in your job, or maybe in your own life, or own way. Okay. Now it's a little bit about quality is necessary for a person to effectively use the benefits of critical thinking: willingness to correct their mistakes, awareness, metacognition or metacognitive monitoring, and the search for the compromise solutions. Yes, nice, nice. And the search for compromise solutions. You have to find and search some compromise solutions. Sometimes if you have terrible, unpredictable, or maybe conclusion of your research problem or something, you have to decide, and it needs some compromise solutions, And what here questions for self-control. What are the main types of logical errors made in incorrect proofs? Какие основные виды логических ошибок, допускаемых в некорректных доказательствах? What are the main types of logical errors made in incorrect proofs? Second question for your self-control is describe the features of critical thinking from the standpoint of researching the general principles of risk assessment. Охарактеризуйте особенности критического мышления с позиции исследования общих. Now, some recommended readings, reference Albert's трактат о критическом, Ханс Альберт, трактат о критическом разуме, Андерсон «Думай, пытайся, развивайся», Канеман, Слоик, Тверский, «Принятие решений неопределенностей», правила предубеждений, Бутенко, «Критическое мышление, метод, теория, практика», Бахарева, «Развитие критического мышления через чтение и письмо», Баркер, «Окружающее мышление. Как увидеть новый тренд раньше других». Вот мы сейчас будем немного смотреть. Okay, about discussion about task number 3, applying the theory of forward thinking, Barker. Joel, how can you see a new trend before others? It's a nice question, and we could find the Barker Joel's forward thinking, forward thinking. Also, we see sometimes for in another way. Okay, we'll try to find. Mhm. This might be this one. Discussion about. This is this one. Okay, I can find. I'd like to share. I'd like to share the book. Um, uh, Joel Barker's book «Опережающее мышление. Как увидеть новый тренд раньше других». Здесь немного на русском языке. Я расскажу вам в ожидании будущего главы важности предвидения определяем парадигму, когда появляется новая парадигма, и кто меняет парадигму, вот эти моменты, и кто такие пионеры парадигмы. Нам очень интересно узнать, уважаемые магистранты, вы должны ознакомиться и принять для себя такие разумные решения для своей работы и как бы креативного человека, творческого человека. Основные характеристики парадигм, менеджеры, лидеры парадигмы. Как это происходит? Окей. Предисловие. Угу. В ожидании будущего. Будущий самый мощный рычаг, наш самый мощный рычаг. Почему разным людям с благими намерениями так плохо удается предвидеть будущее? Why are the intelligent people with good intentions so bad at predicting the future? Yeah. And also the importance of foresight. You can and must create your future if you don't do it yourself. Someone else will do it for you. Such a challenge in the rules sets new trends or fundamentally changes existing ones. This is their peculiarities, yeah? And I'd like to share with the figure number 1. Forward thinking, how the creation of managerial skills. Здесь обратите внимание, здесь 4 две оси, да, от реакции до предвидения, и это горизонтально. Решение проблем, избегание проблем, выявление возможностей горизонтально, а вертикальная реакция, предвидение, к которой вы стремитесь. Прежние управленческие навыки ваши, да, вот эта реакция. А потом, когда с предвидением эта реакция объединяется, создает новые, выявляет новые возможности, помогает избегать проблем и дает новые управленческие навыки. That's all. Качественное предвидение – это результат продуманных статистических исследований. Я думаю, что определяем парадигму, ознакомимся, значит, с книгой Джоэла Баркера «Опережающее мышление», чтобы увидеть тренды раньше других. Я благодарю вас за ваше внимание. Thank you very much for attending my lecture number 4. Key elements and indicators of critical thinking, according my methods and tools of critical thinking in art, author's course by Kabul Khalikov. Thank you so much. See you next lecture.